Hello guys, so today we are going to learn on how to create our first flyer on pixellab. I hope someone is excited to hear that. And the flyer we are going to be creating is a flyer for a real housing estate brand. So this is a brand that deals in selling of houses. So imagine a client tells you to design for him or her a real housing estate brand. So this type of flyer, or you can use from today's lessons as an experience to design for your clients. So without wasting much of our time, let's dive in. I open my Pixel Lab app. So this is how the Pixel Lab app is. Don't mind me. This is my apps. So I open my Pixel Lab app, then I wait for it to open. This is for me because I've been doing on other projects. So if you are a new user, this is what you see in your Pixel Lab background. So I don't want this text. To get rid of it, what I mean is to delete it. I come to this top icon here, this always been icon that looks as if it opened small near this pencil icon. I click on it and then they say delete the selected object. I click on this OK here, then it's deleted. So this image size is not good for us. So I come here, I click on this icon here for this third icon for objects, this for text, this for your projects, then this last icon, this fourth icon that looks like two attached icon. I click on it. This is for color, that is to change the color of your background. This is for gradient, to use a mixture of different colors or a transparent background. Then if I don't need this, so I come to this top, I go back again. Then I select on image size. When I select on image size, I change the width to 1050. Do you see why I clicked here? Then I press OK. Now this is good for my design. So I come to this top, this plus here, I click on it. Then this shapes, I click on shapes. Oh, I didn't click that. I click on shapes again. Let's go again. I click on shape. Then I adjust my shape like this. I see what I'm doing. I adjust it like this. Then I scroll, or this is to select the color. Okay, let me explain brief on this. This place now, this first icon here, when you click on the drop down, this is to select other shapes like my circle, my semicircle, my right angle triangle, my triangle, my star, my love, my polygon, and then my three clipped circle parts with one square part, and then all of that tools. So I don't need it, I need my square. Then this is radius. If I want the edge, I see what is happening. Just look closely at this edge, this edge is here. When I move my radius, it started turning like circle, like this, like this, like this, but I don't need it, so I'll leave it at 0. Then this fill, the opacity is to make it not to be visible or to make it to be visible. So I want it to be visible. Then the color, I can use any color I want. I can use any color. But I need my white color. So this is for gradients. When I click on gradients, this one, you can combine a mixture of color. I've explained that on the background. The same thing with text or icons or anything. So when I click on this, I can mix 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors for myself. So I don't need this. I still leave my color at white. And then when I scroll down, this is stroke. Look closely again at the outer side of this shape. When I move my stroke, when I move, it generates another, something like another square at the body of my main square. Look at it. This is what is happening, but I don't need it. Then this is the opacity of the stroke. When I increase it and decrease the opacity, the stroke will begin to shrink. So I leave it at 100, and then I leave this one at 0. Then this is the stroke color. In case I increase the stroke color, the stroke, I can add a color also, or a gradient to my stroke to mix different color to this. Guys, are you seeing it? I hope this is impactful. This is getting a bit enjoyed. So I come back to my color, or I can choose any color from here, or I can click on this plus to use my hand to choose a selected color. And then this is your hex code where you can edit. This is, I'll explain how to use this. Then this pencil tells on how you can edit your red, green, blue. That is your hex code for those who knows about programming. So I don't need it for now. I don't need it. So I'll leave my stroke at 0, and then I'll click on OK, this OK icon here, to select my shape. When I select my shape, I'll click on this third icon. You can notice now when I click on text, nothing is showing, only to add a new text. Like when I click on here, it adds a new text, but I'll delete this. So I have to click here, and then I'll, okay, sorry. When you see, when I don't select the object, nothing shows, only to add new shape and to draw and to import your images. And then this bezier, I'll be explaining on how to use this bezier. So when I select on my icon, when I just click on the icon, you see plenty options appears. So I'll scroll and I'll look for my mask too. Don't worry, I'll explain all these too. I'll send tutorials on how you use all these pixel lab tools. So when I click on mask, you see this. Then I'll adjust my mask. So when I'm through with my masking, this enabled here, I'll enable it on. Then you can see it masks the upper part of the shape, which is the N. These other ones, I'll be explaining it also in the tutorial I'll be giving to you. So I have to click on this my out without wasting much of our time. I click on out, then you can see it masks out the down part. And that is where I actually need. So this my plus, this my select good icon. I click on it to be done. Then I increase the size. Okay, let me explain a brief on this. This when you select a shape, you see this. This is to rotate the icon 360 anyhow you want it. You can keep it anyhow you want it. And then this is to stretch your icon, to shrink it, and then this is to stretch it outer and then to bring it inside again. And then this bigger circle is to increase the size. So I click on back, click on back, click on back. Ah, no, I made a mistake. So I'll go ahead and select my mask tool again, and then I mask it to how I need it. I'll click on enable. I hope I've explained this. I'll click on enabled, click on out, then I'll click on my good. When I click on my good, I've gotten my shape. So I'll increase the size to block the whole background. I'll increase the size. Hope you're not confused in what I'm doing. This is just moving the shape, because when you're increasing your size, the increase size icon will hide, so you have to move the shape and keep increasing the size until you get it. Then if the size is covering the whole screen, you use a hand and adjust it downwards, because you don't need everything in the screen. Then you position it, make sure this bend side appears to be at the edge of the screen. You position it like this. I'll be needing more of this part to write my texts, to position it like this. So when I move it like this, and then I'll click on this. When I do like this, you'll notice, watch now, watch on this place, watch here now. When I click on the background, you see, when I click on text, or when I come here and when I click on the background like this, you see, okay, the things are still selected, but to give you proofs of that this is the icon for shape, when I copy this icon, you see two of them are placed, so you can't know that there's an icon on top. But if you come to this your layer icon, this these three dots on top, the one under this one, when you come to it, you see that new icon that you copied and the previous one. So I'll move it like this. Then you can see, do you see there are two whites, but I'll change the color so it will not confuse us. So this first white, this bottom one, I'll change. So I've thought on how to use colors. I'll change the color, I'll enable it, and then I'll change my color to brown. I'll scroll, and I'll see my brown. Then I'll click on OK. I made a mistake. I clicked on the cancel, so I'll enable again. I'll scroll. Then I'll click on brown. Then I'll enable. Then I'll enable. Then I'll select the second icon, click on the same color, enable it to select my color options. Then I'll scroll and I'll look. Don't mind me, you can use any color you like, but this is my best, some of my best colors I like using in designing. So you click on this yellow icon to select your yellow, click on OK. Then I want to take this yellow part to the backs. What do I do? First, there are two steps to do this. First, this icon for shapes, when your shape is selected, that is this yellow shape, you can say I can move it because it's selected. I can come here, then to back, I can click to back. You see, it disappear to the back. If I click to front, it comes to the front. Or I'll click on this my layer. When I click on the layer, this is the yellow icon. Don't get confused because there's no color in the two shapes, they are the same. So when I do like this, I'll hold on this, hold vertical, these 8 vertical dots in two places. I'll hold on it down, then I'll move downwards. When I move downwards, the shape goes to the back. So I'll select on that same shape, that shape, and then when I select it, I'll click on my position. That is the yellow shape I mean. When I select on the yellow shape, I'll click on my position, then I position it how I want it. Okay, you see why when I want to move the yellow one, it's moving the brown one. Why? Because we've not locked it. To lock your design, not to make it scatter when designing, click on that same icon, that layer icon. When I click on it, this is okay. To know very well, this is my eye, the brown one. This is the brown shape. So when I click like this is the brown shape selected. Then I lock. When I lock, you cannot have access to move it again. So I click on this second part to select my yellow. You can see now I can't move the brown one again, no matter what I do. So I use my position. Don't get confused on where I clicked. The same object icon. When I move, I see that my position. You see how the position is like 4 arrows facing up, down, rightwards, and leftwards. I click on it. Then this is to move it, how fast it will be. If I move it to 20 pixels, it will move fast. If I move it to 1, it will move slow. But I leave it at 3 at normal. Then I move the position downwards. When I move the position down, I want to get something like this. So I click on OK. Then I lock the yellow one. When I lock it, the next is to add our image to make our flyer look more real. Someone stay with me, don't get lost. So by the time I want to add my image, I'll click on this plus at this top place. When I click on this plus, then this place the route from gallery. You can see it. Can you see it? This place the route from gallery. I'll click on it, and then I'll wait a minute or a second. Then it will bring me to my gallery. When it brings me to my gallery, I can click on these 3 dots here to select my destination where I want to pick my photos from. I'll click on photos. Then this is your photos. It will bring it to your folder. You know where your photos are. Then this is my photo. Wait a minute, let me look for it. So this is my housing. I'll be needing these 2 logos, but I'll first click on this one, this housing logo. Then to come back to my pixel lab, then I can crop it like this. If you want to cut the logo, the image, you can cut it by moving any of these dots. So, but I want to leave it at the full part, so I'll click on my good. This is where I clicked on. I clicked. Look at. Let me go again. I'll crop. Look at the crop. Then this is the good. This place. I click on the good. Then when I click on the good, I move it to the top. Increase the size a little. I've explained on how to increase the size. Increase the size a little. Then I make sure it covers this background place. Then I select this my layer icon. When I select this my layer icon, then I hold on those 3 dots. I move it downwards, then it enters at the back of all the images. Then I can, let me say I reduce my size a bit. Okay, the background is showing, so it enters at the back. Guys, can you see how far we are going? Then I can click on this place. I'll lock the image also, so it can't move, nothing can move. Then after doing this, I'll have to click on a shape. When I click on this shape, I'll select the color to be brown from here, or I can click on OK as a white color, then go to the color options, enable it, and then go move. Then this is my brown color I used previously. I'll just scroll, look for the brown, click on the brown, and make sure when designing, make sure you don't have too many color, not to make your design look like a children design in the eye. Make sure you have about 2 colors or 3 colors used in total to make your design professional. So when I click on, this is my shape, I click on this OK first, then I leave this shape, and then I click on this plus again. I generate another shape, but this time around it will be a triangle. This is my triangle. When I click on it, you see it's a triangle. So I'll change, okay, cancel. I'll change the color of this my triangle to the same brown color. Look at it. I'll change it to brown. Then I click on good. Do you see? You can't see anything. You can't know it's a triangle because all is brown color. But I'll rotate it like this. Okay, let me change the color. After I'll adjust. I'll change the color to this one. I'll rotate. Then this one, I'll change the color to white also to be understood. So when I rotate, I'll increase the size. I will make sure the triangle and the square is the same size to meet together by adjusting. I'll increase the size, adjust, then place. See, when I make sure that it's the same size, when I place now, I'll deselect this to check whether they are okay, but it's not okay. So I keep adjusting. Okay, after adjusting now, it's okay. After adjusting, what do you do? Ask me, someone guess what you do. Okay, the short answer is to click on this icon, this same layer icon, click on it. Then we'll be using what we call merge. When I click, someone look downwards in this place, you see a good icon with a dash and a bad icon with a dash. So when I click on it, more options will be generated, but forget them. So it will look, when you click back, when you click back on the good here, you see you have this your options to delete all those objects, to hide it. This is to hide that my triangle, to release it, and then to delete it and to edit the triangle and to lock it. So when I click on this good, you can see these two icons that look like attached, but when I click it, they say you haven't selected anything. So I'll first of all click on my square and my triangle. And by the way, mind you of what you select, so not to make mistake in merging another thing you're not supposed to merge. So when I finish, I click on that merge icon, that two icon. They say, are you sure you want to merge selected objects? I say okay. Then now it's merged. Then I click on my color again. I now enable it. Now, oh, I made a mistake in this. I have to go back. I have to go back. I have to go back. So I have to move it a bit inside so you can't see that outer part. Then I merge again. Don't be confused in what I did. Just click on this my layer icon, click on downwards here, then I merge. When I click on this merge, these two icons that looks like attaching in the middle of these four icons, I click on it, then merge it. Then all of them will now be like one icon. Then I come to my object, the same icon for objects. I come to my color, then I change the color. Do you see now? I click on it, I then change the color to, I scroll down, I change the color to that my brown color used in designing. This is it. I change the color to brown, then I click on OK. Then I reduce the size and increase this place to make it bold. Then I hide it inside here. When I hide it inside here, I then deselect this. Then I lock my icon. Then I click this plus again. I'll be a little bit faster. I'll click this plus again. When I click on the plus, I'll select from gallery again. Then I'll go to my photos. Then where I got the other image from, I'll select the logo I've just finished design. Don't worry, you still learn on how to design something like design what I mean by a logo that is used in many flyers today. So I'll click on my good icon here, then I'll reduce the size. When I reduce the size like this, then I'll use, not to scatter it, I will come to my icon for object, then use my position, and then are you seeing the thing is moving as I click on this left, right, up and down or buttons. So I move it upwards and make sure it stays in the middle. When it stays, I'll click on good. Then I come to my color. I want to change it to a yellow color so it can be visible in that brown. Then I scroll. I change it to that same yellow color like this, and then I click on my plus. Now this is how our flyer looks like. Then the next thing to do is to click on my layer here, this layer. Then I lock it so nothing can move again. Then I click on this plus. Now it's time to use our text. I click on this plus, then I click on this text icon here. I click on it. When I click on the text, see what's happened. Every text you create new will appear at the top here. So I'll hold it in the middle and move it. Then to add your own text, there are two ways to do it. And then this is the icon for text. This place they wrote my A, so I can click on this edit. to edit my text, or I can click on this pencil here near this delete. I'll click on this pencil, then click another pencil again, that is to edit it. Then I'll click on it, you can edit it. So, or I can also double click this text. I'll double click it. For laptop users, you also double click. I'll double click it, it will open. Then this is to delete everything you typed. I'll delete it. Then type company name. So I'll break this down so it can enter in that our shape. I'll break it, then I'll click on OK. When I click on OK, this is my icon for text selected. I'll leave it in a white color. Then I'll change, this is my fonts. Don't worry, I'll be teaching you on how to add many fonts. I'll send a link on different, this is, I have about 7,000 fonts, and I'll be sending the folder, and I'll send a video on how to add them to your pixel lab. So I'll click on fonts. I love one font I normally use. I'll search for it. Don't be confused on what I did now. I'll click on the fonts icon, that same text icon here. From the beginning, I'll scroll. After the mask for masking text also, I'll click on fonts. Then I come to this second option here, my fonts. Then I click on search. Then I search for a font called Lato. Lato. There are different groups, varieties in Lato. So I select Lato regular. Then the font changes here. Then I can also crop this. When I click here, I can make one font to be different from the other, but I want all to be the same. You understand what I mean? Like when I click like this, I can make this company to be Lato semi bold. Then I can make the name to be Lato regular, but I want all to be the same. So look at, let me do it so you can understand better. This is the company. I can make it semi bold. It can change. I can leave this one as normal, but all of them will see the same text. But I'll select everything together. I'll click on my Lato regular. When I click on my Lato regular, everything is selected. I'll click on OK. When I click on OK, then I don't like how two of them is jam-packed to the edge. So I'll scroll in that same text icon after the font, scroll forward a bit. I'll see align. Then this align, this is to left align it, to right. Watch here. When I right, this right align, this third icon. When I right align, to move to the right. Then I left align to come back normal. But I want to centralize it to be like this. So when I centralize it, then this icon here is to stretch it. Then this one here is to reduce the size. So I'll select the icon now. Then okay, this is having problems. So I'll just come here to reduce my size. I'll just, in that icon for text, I'll see a T, capital letter T, that is bigger than each other. And then I'll click on that is for size. You see your size of this is to minus it by 1 if you want. If you don't, because if you use your hand, it will be minusing it speedily. So this is to minus it by 1 to know the amount that you need. This minus, I'll be minusing it by 1. So I'll add it as usual. I'll reduce the size so it can still enter. So I'll click on OK. Then I'll use my position. Then I'll reduce the pixels to 1. I'll move it downwards and then align better. When I finish aligning, I'll reduce my hand. I'll deselect it and see how my flyer looks like. Then I'll lock it. After on how to lock, click on here. Then this is the lock icon, so it can't move any longer. Not to scatter your designs. Now to move further, to make this look more attractive, I'll be a little bit faster. I'll click on text again. Then I'll double click to edit it. Then this is our services. Okay, this is our services. So I'll click on, this is for me, or if you don't want to use, you can just type it. What I did now is to type all letters to be capital letter, but if you don't want to use, if you just type, after typing you can click on this same TT, it can be capital also. When you click on it, all of them will be capital. But I'll type everything first. I'll type flats. Let me type all. So I'll just capitalize the first letters, these flats, then these houses, then this commercial, then this property I'll leave it as small, then this land I'll capitalize it. Then I'll click on this my OK icon here. When I click on this OK here, it will select. Then I want to make everything to be in one line. How do I do that? I'll just hold down this icon here. You see it, I'll hold it down. Then everything will stretch to be in one line, but you can't see it because it's too long. So I come to my size icon and then I click on minus, this minus here. I'll click on it, or I'll use my hand to adjust it. Then I normally leaves my own at 25. So this is better now, or 27 or 28. So I'll position it. I want to position it at the center, not to waste my time. I'll just scroll after this position icon, this relative position, I'll click on it. Then this is to centralize it horizontally and vertically. These two middle icon, I'll click here and click here. Do you see it? But I'll prefer clicking here. Then I'll move it upwards so that our text can be enough to enter the screen. I'll move it upwards, then come to my fonts, then select a font that will be bold for people to see. So I'll click on that my Lato, select my Lato bold. So it's bold now. Then I'll lock it. When I lock it, and then the next thing is to provide the states where the real housing estate is. Normally real housing estate is normally in the 36 states of Nigeria. That is for people. I don't know why I say Nigeria. That is for people in Nigeria. Apart from that, okay, I'll be using states of Nigeria. So what I'll do now is to type it.